Newsy news. Good morning, everyone. My name is Onepeg, and in today's news video, we have a tweet from BSG about some major upcoming changes to the game. Don't worry, this one's going to be short, but hey, we run a news channel, so we're going to talk about it, you know? On Twitter today, BSG stated, an estimated plan of the changes, fixes, and improvements that will be included in the upcoming hotfixes. Fixing issues that occur with binaural sound on, adjustments to sound positioning, footstep noise, and incorrect headset settings, tweaking additional aspects of Oculus audio on all locations, fixing issues when using the gym for some players, fixing a number of bugs in the stash, hideout, and UI in general, geometry and lighting fixes for Streets of Tarkov, new player group system, the DLSS update or a DLSS update, fixing issues when interacting with certain weapons, and several other changes and fixes. In addition to the bug fixes, there was also some interesting pieces of lore that they decided to share about scavs. Scavs. As is often the case in times of general panic and chaos, a segment of the population wanting to profit from the remnants of the past comes to the surface. They have accepted the new reality as the nature of things and feel at ease. They feel at ease at not neglecting the killing of civilians and the looting of once strategic facilities. A large part of this stratum has criminal past or an appropriate background, while others are former hunters or have served in the regular army and know how to handle weapons. They often gang up and work in groups, supporting each other with both fire and information. Scavs are hostile to the PMC operators of both factions and consider these territories their own. They establish ties with the more serious bandit groups and deliver information to the bosses in exchange for support or supplies. Scavs are locals, so they are much more aware of the territory and places where one can find something of value or even a path into another location. This could read like lore, it could read like foreshadowing. To me, I think it's just some backstory, some flavor text, if you will, describing what the Scav faction is all about. It could also be some, I guess, veiled attempt at them trying to justify early Scav spawns on maps because they live there. You know, this and in some screenshots that got shared of looks like some BSG staffers kind of dressed up in some Scav garb, dumb as a brick. Pretty cool. For those of you that have not really been paying attention to what's been going on with the game audio, binaural audio right now does not work. There is no binaural audio. The checkbox, whether it is on or off, does not matter. With one small exception that binaural audio, if enabled in the game, seems to cause a memory leak that causes you to restart your game every 3 to 4 raids so that you don't end up having your frame rate. In regard to sound positioning, we know that that has been a major issue as well. About a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, Veritas did a video closer to the beginning of the wipe where he pitted Steam audio sounds and sound effects forward and backward against sound effects caused from the Oculus audio system. And overwhelmingly, the results showed that we could tell front and back from Steam audio, but right now cannot tell front and back from Oculus audio at all. It just doesn't work. Also, in regard to footstep noise in the way that headsets are working right now, footstep sounds are incredibly loud, especially if you're on wood. You can hear them from 70 meters away sometimes when people are walking inside of wooded areas, wooded buildings on the floors. With headsets on, you can hear them from very, very far away, which does not make sense. And secondarily, footsteps themselves don't have any reduction in volume regardless of how fast you are moving or whether or not you are crouched. There is currently no ability to move in stealth. The only thing that changes is the tempo of your footsteps, not the volume. That was tested and proved by Airwing Marine and was something that I believe I tweeted on like the second day of the wipe when I noticed it happening. The line item about Oculus audio on all locations is an interesting one. Perhaps they're talking about adding Oculus audio to the remaining locations that don't have it because there's only, I think, 4 maps right now that do have it enabled, although, again, it doesn't currently work. Or if they mean that they're going to finish tweaking the audio problems that exist on the maps that have Oculus audio enabled, like vertical audio issues in maps like Customs Dorms, for instance, or in bunkers on woods where as soon as you get down the stairs, you can't hear anything underground at all, even if you're standing in the doorway. The gym fixes are a much needed one. There's like, I would say a third to a half of the player base right now has been repeatedly complaining that they are unable to use the gym. There have been suggested fixes and workarounds using things like NVIDIA's replay system and disabling that or disabling the NVIDIA overlay in order to be able to make sure that the gym will work. That seems to have worked for a lot of people, but for others, it doesn't. Insofar as geometry and lighting fixes for Streets of Tarkov, that obviously is incredibly vague, but I do know of one instance where you can clip through a wall and end up kind of falling through the map. There seems to be one of those every time a new map comes out. This one, at the very least, isn't game-breaking because they actually added death planes underneath the map, so if you do fall through the map, you end up clipping the death plane and you die, so there's that. The new player group system, which is something that we were told was going to be implemented at the beginning of the patch, which obviously didn't get in for the beginning of the patch, is something that it looks like they're looking to patch into the game in the near future, hopefully soon in the near future. And while the DLSS update for this Twitter thread doesn't seem like it's all that interesting, right now, DLSS in Tarkov is pretty rough. There's a lot of artifacting, more so than other DLSS-enabled games, so them fixing it or updating it perhaps will take away a lot of that artifacting and allow players to be able to use DLSS and get some frame rates on higher resolutions, which is always nice. The biggest question here, I'm sure all of you are asking, is when? BSG did not say in this series of tweets. This thread does not mention a date anywhere, which means that this is probably coming out in a series of hotfixes. The first one, who knows? Traditionally, BSG likes to do hotfix patches toward the ends of weeks so that they have the weekend to be able to monitor it, if you will. Maybe we will see one this weekend, but no one really knows, and they're not telling. It could end up being another month from now. And I realize that I'm huffing the hopium awful hard when I say this, but I really hope that something gets done with the audio very soon. Because aside from cheating and netcode, in my opinion, the biggest issue with Tarkov right now is its audio. It is almost impossible to track front to back. And I'm notorious for having really good sound quality and being able to detect where players are. That was like the one thing that I had, and right now they've taken it from me, and it's making me sad. And I would like to not be sad about this anymore. Anyway, guys, that's what I have for this one. Hopefully this was helpful in shedding some light on things. If you would be so kind as to follow me on my socials at OnePegMG on Twitter, at OnePeg on TikTok, where I stream simultaneously at twitch.tv/OnePeg. Well, as soon as I figure out this other audio issue I have with TikTok, but that doesn't really matter. And if you would come by the stream at twitch.tv/OnePeg, I stream live every day from 6 to 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until whenever. And as always, if you would consider subbing the channel here, I would be forever appreciative. Thank you so much for lending me your eyeballs, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.